Hello everyone. Here are some tips you probably haven't heard before that are key to a successful, efficient job search. Now, I've worked as a human resources generalist for 4 years, mainly as a contractor, and a lot of my duties are to interview people. I would also say that 70% of the time I still have to interview for my next role in between contract assignments. So I've become pretty good at finding new jobs. Let's get right into our tips. Number one, I would say this is the most important tip to secure a job interview. If I had to focus on one thing to do, it would be this. Your resume needs to stand out. Put time into updating, perfecting, and highlighting your experience before you start any job search. Use a resume template to stand out from hundreds of applicants. The days of boring, colorless resumes are gone. Use your common sense. You don't want to have a super bright, colorful resume. Of course, it depends. If you're interviewing for or hoping to get a graphic designer opportunity, that might be okay. But for a more office professional type setting, it might not be okay. But you definitely are welcome to use templates that are a little more professional looking, just like the one that you're looking at on the screen now. Recruiters don't really spend too much time on any one resume anymore, so you need to be concise in your duties and try not to be repetitive. If you have answered phones at 5 out of your 6 past jobs, you definitely don't want to make that a bullet point in every single section. As long as if it's important to the job you're applying to, you highlight it at the top job, that should be sufficient. And the most important thing I would say is to please use proper grammar. I have passed up on resumes and applicants because they have a ton of grammatical errors, and you can tell that they did not take the time to format their resumes. Number two, use a staffing service that specializes in the type of position you're seeking. You want to do this because it's going to double your effort. You're going to be looking for a job, and at the same time, your recruiter at these staffing agencies is going to be looking for a job for you, and they typically have a lot more connections than we do. This is also going to free up some time when you need a break from looking for a job. They're going to still be looking for you even while you're having a little bit of downtime. Agencies are not only they don't only place people in temporary roles anymore. A lot of the bigger companies are hiring on a temporary basis to begin with, and you can stay temp for years, or after a few months, they will make an offer to convert you more often than not. But even if it is only a temporary opportunity, it's going to definitely open new doors for you. And contrary to popular belief, you will likely be making more money. A lot of people think that the staffing agency is taking part of your money, but the truth is, yes, they have to make some money off of you. That's their business model. But you will still come out on top in many ways. You're going to make more money than you typically would on your own. You're going to make better connections. Typically, the companies that use staffing agencies to staff their openings have a high budget and are able to offer you a higher salary, even if it's not until after they convert you. You're going to make new connections, you're going to leave with new references, and most importantly, you're going to leave with new skills to add to your resume. Time is key. Being one of the first applicants significantly increases your chances to be noticed, especially if the company has an urgent need. So you want to aim to be within the first 30 applicants would be a good rule of thumb. Be within the first 30 people to apply for that position. You don't want to give the illusion of desperation, but you do want to respond to calls and emails in a timely manner and flexible at their convenience as much as possible when you're scheduling your interviews. They know that you're not working, and they also want to know that you're interested enough to work for them. Number 4 is pretty self-explanatory. You want to make seeking employment your temporary full-time job. You're not going to be on there 8 hours a day. I mean, unless you want to, and you can do that. But you don't want to go crazy applying for everything either. You want to be more selective. And, I would say a good 4 to 6 hours a day. If you have that time, it should be your full-time job to look for a job. You want to post your resume on select job boards and sort your searches by date and title keywords in order to be a timely applicant, like we talked about before. Number 5, you need to stay prepared. You need to set up your voicemail greeting in a professional manner. Return calls only after knowing a bit about which job the call was about. You don't want to seem confused when you called them back. You need to keep at least 2 good interview outfits on hand. A lot of places are doing multiple rounds of interviews. You interview with HR first, and then you might be in front of the hiring manager. So you need to have at least 2 good suits. You can also use your clothes as a chance to stand out. Try subtle pops of color without the typical black suits and white shirts that we see that so often, and it gets kind of boring. 90% of the time, these interviewers know you have the skills. They selected you based on your resume because you've done the job before. They're trying to match your personality to their team. That could be a little hard to assess if everybody looks the same. When interviewing, you need to be prepared. You need to have a COVID mask nowadays and have it on before you step into the interview room unless they tell you it's okay otherwise. Be confident. You need to ask relevant questions throughout the interview, and most importantly, relax. Those are my 5 best tips for anyone seeking a job. Please let me know what works for you, and good luck in your job search.